Hello to you, my fellow printed weebs. You're very welcome to another episode of Community News from 3D Jake. All the news from the community and what's going on with us too. I'm joining you from the 3D Jake workshop in the center of Graz in southern Austria. Because, yeah, sometimes offices need makeovers too. Here's what's going on in 3D printing right now. Okay, as always, what is new in the shop? And we have Aliencell coming soon. So these guys make laser engravers, and we will soon be getting their X1 laser engraver, which comes in various power ratings, 20 watt, 40 watt, or 60 watt diodes. These guys are large and fast actually, with accelerations up to 20k, and they also have a high pressure air assist which can reduce scorch marks considerably. And what is cool about these guys is that you can use their own software, this comes with it, but you can also use light burn with these, so it's pretty nifty. Something else that actually people have been asking for. So normally I use WD-40 PTFE spray for lubing printers. But WD-40 now have a lithium grease in spray form. PTFE spray is good for X-rails and X-rods, stuff for high-speed motion, but for lead screws, it's not the most optimal choice, actually, because PTFE spray is very, very low viscosity. It's very thin. It gets in there, but it's not the best thing for lead screws. You want a grease for that, something that's thicker, high viscosity, something that lasts longer, and lithium grease is great for this. So now we have lithium grease, but it's in spray form, so it's very easy to use, but it still has higher viscosity, so it's suitable for lead screws. And at $12.99, that's pretty decent for something that will last you a long time. Okay, new stuff in the world of 3D printing. And have you seen CNC Kitchen's new texture tool? If you haven't, check it out. It's pretty awesome, actually. So those of you who have watched this channel a little bit will know that I like my textures. I do. Do we have something with textures here? So textures are pretty awesome. They're an easy way to add depth to a model. And you can have something like this where it's very, very long and stretched out and scaled along this part, or you can have something that's really, really densely packed. Fuzzy skin, though, is the way to go for textures when you don't really have much CAD experience. But they are kind of limited. I mean, you've had more fuzzy skin features in the last year or so on various slicers, but you have like four. I think four choices, maybe. So people have to kind of resort to CAD to do different textures. We did a tutorial on textures like a long time ago using Blender. It's not that easy. Let's just put it bluntly. It's not easy. This tool, however, is easy to use. So you can import your own models and textures, and then you can filter out parts that you don't want to be textured. You can change the UV scaling, the texture density, its strength. It even works well with complicated high-density, unsymmetrical meshes. But what I love the most about this is that it's fast. You can choose the resolution you want in terms of triangle count, but the default 1 million triangles is probably enough for most cases, and with that you just click export. It builds, and in less than 10 seconds you can check it out on your slicer. This is our Jakey, but we've just put on a kind of knitted texture, and that took only a few seconds to create and export, and then we printed it and it was ready. Like, screw Blender, I'm using this in future. Alright, next one is weird. I don't know how to feel about this. It's a 3D printer, but it also mines Bitcoin. I know this is a day after April Fool's. This isn't a joke. So I guess the idea is to try to make money from your printer in a passive way. I feel kind of weird about it. I mean, top marks for the combination, but well, you decide. I thought it was worth a shout though. Okay, next is Filamentive's PLA, which is now EN71-3 plus A2 2024 compliant. Bit of a mouthful. So this certifies them safe regarding the leaching of regulated elements should they be ingested or come into contact with your body in an internal sort of way. Oh man, the innuendos. There is food safe filament, of course, but that's just food safe. It's what happens when the plastic comes in contact with your food, not if you eat it by accident. So food safe generally falls under a few regulations actually, but the most important one being EN 1935-2004, which is specific to materials leaching substances into food that might endanger human health or alter the quality of the food. So what happens if you have designed a toy out of PLA and you give it to a child, a small child, and they put it in their mouth, as kids do. Not advised with food safe filament. No, don't do that. So for this we need something else. An EN71-3 plus A2 2024 is a recent addendum to EN71 regarding the migration of substances. The focus here is on the material not leaching or migrating substances into the human body if a small amount is ingested. And now Filamentive's filament is compliant to that standard, which is awesome. Obviously, a lot more than that matters when you are considering designing and printing a toy out of PLA for a child. The geometry and the printing process is obviously just as important, but it is cool to know that 3D printing filament manufacturers are getting on board with these kind of safety measures. Okay, next and lastly, Sunnyday Technologies are releasing the M3-CRETE. This is an open source concrete 3D printer. There is not a huge amount of information just yet, and the GitHub is sparse on CAD, but this is going to be a 2 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter open source 3D printer designed to print concrete under €5,000. Printing concrete is relatively well tested at this stage, but it's generally just used for building houses, or well, actually it's used for building walls. That's more accurate. But imagine designing and printing small things out of concrete, like not a house, but like yay big, like a garden ornament. Lots of garden ornaments are made out of concrete. You could just print one and sell it. Shipping would be hell. I think that's what makes this very interesting to me, is that if we do have CAD files, then we could build on that, scale it down, make it a cheap concrete 3D printer. You don't need a heated bed, you don't need part cooling, you don't need an enclosure, you don't need a massive hot end. Granted, the mechanics of printing concrete are somewhat more complicated and slightly more expensive than just getting a Revo hot end. But still, this is interesting. I'm staying tuned to this one. Alright, that about does it for this month. As always, links to all the stories and products are down below in the description. Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you didn't know, we also have a Discord server where there is printer talk on a daily basis. We'll be back with another video tomorrow, actually. So, until then, later.